Senator Kirsten Gillibrand just unloaded on Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. She started with a policy question about the Gateway Tunnel. Then she pivoted, and the temperature in the room spiked. She saw his ad bragging about cutting funding to New York. 20 million people need to get to work every day. That's not a joke. Then she got to the real problem. His Great American Road Trip TV show. Days of filming. Paid for by the very companies he regulates. Boeing, Toyota, United Airlines, Enterprise, Shell, Royal Caribbean. In any other context, that's pay for play. 100% illegal for a member of Congress.
$500,000 paid by the trial bar to fly you on a private jet.
I've never been on a private jet.
Zen Air.
I don't.
Zen Air?
Never been on a private jet.
$462,000 private jets.
We don't. Members of Congress
so they
aren't
pay
allowed.
For you to fly on a yes, senators
Not
can.
true.
It is.
Not true.
Answer to that.
You know what, Mr. Secretary?
I made nothing.
Meanwhile, New Yorkers are suffering. Gas prices up 50%. Over $4 a gallon. $5, $6 for diesel. Families can't afford their own vacations. But the secretary got a paid vacation funded by the corporations he oversees. Duffy's defense? It was a non-profit partnership. America 250. He didn't make any money. He's never been on a private jet? Gillibrand isn't buying it. She points to $7 million from the trial bar. $462,000 for private jets. She calls him political. She says he's using his position in political ways. This is not a policy hearing. It's an ethics hearing. And Duffy is on the hot seat. Let's watch.
Senator Gillibrand.
Thank you. So, Mr. Secretary, you and I have talked at length about your approach towards transportation. You want certain things out of different states in order to fund certain things. So, you and I have talked about Second Avenue Subway. That's finally in compliance, and that is going forward. Right now, Gateway Tunnel is under review. What's the status of that review, and when do you think it will be completed?
So the resources are flowing to both of those projects, and you know we were doing a review on race-based contracting versus merit contracting. The Supreme Court indicated projects couldn't do that, and that happened during the shutdown. I only had one staff from the Civil Rights Office, so it did take more time. And then once the staff did come back, there was a backlog in the office. So, but the money is flowing to both of those projects, and Gateway is I think it's probably the biggest project in the Western Hemisphere.
Correct. So when do you think the review will be done?
If not done now, shortly.
Shortly. Okay. I will hold you to that shortly, because obviously it is such an important economic project for the entire Eastern Seaboard and the entire nation. And we don't want more delays, because we know that when you have delays, costs increase.
Yeah,
so,
but it's not delayed now. Money is going to the project.
Okay. So now I want to talk to you about something that is less easy. I saw your ad. You want to go fast. I saw that. But I did not like the fact that you bragged about cutting funding to New York. That sounded like a political argument that is not a very nice thing to say about a state that has 20 million people that need to get to work every day on critical infrastructure. So I don't like that quote in your ad. I thought that was a very inappropriate thing to say. I also do not like your Great American Road Trip. And I get you have experience in that. I get you want to promote America and how beautiful and amazing it is. I get all the good reasons why you wanted to do that. And I get it's time with your family, all those things. I don't like it because right now in New York, people are suffering. They are extremely stressed out. They're stressed out about the cost of gas, which has gone up by 50% under this administration. They're upset about the cost of everyday household goods. They're upset about the cost of groceries and housing and healthcare. So there's stresses. I don't think they're going to get to go on that great American vacation that they'd like to go on. I think a lot of families are not actually going on vacation this summer. And when I went and met with a bunch of gas stations across my state just a couple days ago, the cost of well over $4 a gallon in every gas station, $5 a gallon, over $6 a gallon for diesel, it's extremely stressful. And I don't like the fact that this great American vacation reality TV show. Took days and days of filming. I don't like the fact that it was paid for by companies that you have to oversee, companies that you work with. And in our jobs, that would be pay for play. It would be 100% illegal. It would be inappropriate on every level and not tolerated. And in this era where President Trump's spending money building a golden ballroom that we don't need, that he's spending $1 billion a day on bombs that people would far rather he be spending on healthcare or housing. This great American road trip, it doesn't smell right. It may be fast, but it's fast and loose with the rules. I don't like it. I think it's wrong. And I think you should explain to the American people why you should spend your time and why you should be getting a vacation that is paid for by companies that you regulate. I think those things are highly problematic, and it makes me extremely anxious because the American people and New Yorkers in particular probably can't afford their vacation this summer at all.
So I appreciate that, Senator. First off, in the ad, you said a lot. Can I unpack some of the allegations that you made? First, in regard to New York, we've asked for all states to revoke illegally issued driver's licenses. Every state has complied but New York. And we have tools to pull money from New York, and we did. California even complied.
But the point is, Mr. Duffy, Secretary Duffy, I don't mind that you have rules and that you have a different way of doing the Department of Transportation. What I mind is that you bragged about it and made a joke about it.
I'm also Senator,
it is not appropriate for a secretary to demean an entire state by that joke.
So we're going to give $8 billion to rebuild Penn Station. Is that a joke?
No, but
no, you'd welcome that, right? And I've asked for your subways to be cleaner.
With our tax dollars. Right. You got that money because we give it to you from New Yorkers.
And then we get a choice where to put it, and you give me that discretion.
We also appropriate money that then you don't grant. So we are the appropriators, not you.
No, I know
we appropriate the money. You're supposed to spend it. Sometimes you choose not to, and we have to file lawsuits to get you to spend the money.
Want to make allegations? Can I respond? Do you want me to respond to, or just if you want to take all your time is up, but if you want to just sit and vent or want me to respond, you let me know.
Let's talk about the Great American Vacation.
The Great American Road Trip?
Yes, let's talk about that.
This was a project, Senator, and I want to encourage Americans to see their beautiful country. And as we can see from this hearing, there's a lot of partisanship in America. Seeing your country, experiencing your country through the window of a car is a beautiful thing. It actually unites America. Maybe spending time with your children is a wonderful experience.
It is a wonderful thing, but your vacation was paid for by Boeing, Toyota, United Airlines, Enterprise, Shell, Royal Caribbean Group, all
Senator,
organizations and companies.
Do you want me to respond to you? Can I respond?
But you're responding with platitudes, and it's not.
I'm telling you what the project was. Okay, 2 days, quickly in and out, and I did film the Great American Road Trip to encourage Americans to travel. I'll answer your question. So this was officially part of America 250, and you all sanctioned America 250. This is an official partner. No, it's an official partner of America 250. Also, this body told me that I'm supposed to promote tourism and travel, and that's what it does as well. Now, hold on a second. No, you're making.
And it shouldn't be paid for by people that you have oversee.
Can I respond to that?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize.
So if I could respond, this was a partnership with a nonprofit. It was a nonprofit, and the nonprofit
funded by organizations and companies that you oversee.
Do you have jurisdiction over law firms? So you received $7 million in political contributions from the trial bar.
Honestly, this has nothing to do with members of Congress. This has to do with the fact that you went on a paid vacation that was paid by companies that you oversee.
You received $7 million from the trial bar. You have jurisdiction.
Different.
You have jurisdiction on the trial bar. $7 million. Want me to go down the list of what else you received? You have jurisdiction.
Listen,
you actually passed
Secretary
legislation for the
Duffy,
trial bar.
This hearing is about you and this administration.
No, it's about you. I didn't make any money.
This hearing, you are the witness. I am not the witness.
I don't have any. Well, maybe you should be.
Well, you know what?
Maybe you should answer the American people for $7 million
Secretary
from the trial bar.
Secretary Duffy,
$7 million.
I think you should be telling this committee
that goes to put your ad on television in your. That's all to you. You spend that money.
This is what I'm concerned about.
Steak dinners,
You are
flights.
political, and you are
We're
using
over
your
our
position in
time right
political
now.
ways.
$500,000 paid by the trial bar to fly you on a private jet.
I've never been on a private jet.
Zen Air.
I don't.
Zen Air?
Never been on a private jet. No. We don't.
We're out of our
$462,000
We
time.
private
don't.
jets.
We don't. Members of
So
Congress
they pay
aren't
for you to
allowed.
fly on a yes, senators
Not
can.
true.
It is.
Not true.
Answer to that.
You know what, Mr.
I
made
Secretary?
nothing.
Your
They
job.
put your face on
job-
television.
your
face
job-
on television, your steak dinners, your vacations by the trial bar. I make
We're going to
nothing
go to
on this.
Senator
No money.
Capito, recognized you for your question.
Thank you.
This hearing is not about transportation policy. It's not about the Gateway Tunnel or the Second Avenue subway or race-based contracting. It is about a fundamental question of ethics, hypocrisy, and the revolving door between government and the industries it regulates. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand came prepared to ask that question, and Secretary Sean Duffy did not have a good answer. The core allegation is simple. Duffy, as Transportation Secretary, oversees some of the largest corporations in America: airlines, oil companies, car manufacturers, cruise lines. He also filmed a reality TV show called The Great American Road Trip. The show was paid for by a nonprofit. That nonprofit was funded by the very companies Duffy regulates: Boeing, Toyota, United Airlines, Enterprise, Shell, Royal Caribbean Group. In Gillibrand's words, that's pay for play. In any other context, it would be 100% illegal. A member of Congress cannot accept a paid vacation from a lobbyist. A senator cannot take a private jet from a company with business before their committee. But a cabinet secretary can film a TV show funded by the industries he oversees, and that's supposed to be fine. Duffy's defense is threefold. First, he says the show was part of America 250, an official partnership sanctioned by Congress to promote tourism and travel. Second, he says he didn't make any money from it. Third, he pivots, aggressively, to Gillibrand's own political contributions: $7 million from the trial bar, $462,000 for private jets. He says she has jurisdiction over law firms. He says she should be accountable for her own money. Gillibrand doesn't take the bait. She doesn't deny the contributions. She doesn't defend the trial bar. She just keeps bringing it back to Duffy. You are the witness. I am not the witness. That's the crucial distinction. Gillibrand is an elected official. She raises money to run for office. That's how campaigns work. It's legal. It's disclosed. It's regulated. Duffy is a cabinet secretary. He doesn't run for office. He doesn't raise campaign funds. He oversees multi-billion-dollar corporations, and he took a paid vacation funded by those same corporations. Those are not the same thing. Duffy tries to muddy the water by pointing at Gillibrand's donors. But the trial bar doesn't have pending applications before the Senate. They don't need Gillibrand to approve their mergers or sign off on their safety waivers or release their grant funding. The companies that paid for Duffy's show do. That is the difference. That is the entire problem. Then there's the tone. Gillibrand is furious, but she's controlled. She lays out the facts. Gas prices up 50%. Families can't afford their own vacations. New Yorkers are stressed about groceries, housing, healthcare. And while they're struggling, the Transportation Secretary is filming a reality show paid for by the oil companies, charging them $4 a gallon. She calls it fast and loose with the rules. She says it doesn't smell right. She says it's wrong. Duffy's response is to talk about how beautiful America is and how seeing the country through the window of a car unites people. That's not a defense. That's a platitude. Gillibrand calls him out on it. You're responding with platitudes. She's right. He's not answering the ethics question. He's not explaining why it's appropriate for him to take free travel from the very industries he oversees. He's just talking about family values and national unity. Then comes the private jet denial. Gillibrand says the trial bar paid $500,000 to fly Duffy on a private jet. Duffy says he's never been on a private jet. Gillibrand cites Zen Air, $462,000. Duffy repeats, I've never been on a private jet. Someone is not telling the truth. Either Gillibrand's numbers are wrong or Duffy is lying under oath. There's no middle ground. And the hearing ends before we find out which one it is. The larger issue here is the normalization of what used to be scandalous. A cabinet secretary taking a paid vacation from the industries he regulates would have ended careers 20 years ago. Now it's just a partnership with a nonprofit. A transportation secretary filming a reality show while gas prices soar and families struggle would have been front-page news for weeks. Now it's a project to promote tourism. The standards have slipped. The boundaries have blurred. And Gillibrand is one of the few people in Washington willing to say that out loud. She doesn't care that Duffy is charming. She doesn't care that he was on a reality show before. She doesn't care that America 250 is a sanctioned partnership. She cares that the Secretary of Transportation is accepting benefits from the companies he regulates. That's corruption. Not the kind that involves cash in brown paper bags. The kind that involves access, favors, and the appearance of impropriety. The kind that erodes public trust because no one can quite prove it's illegal, but everyone knows it's wrong. Duffy's final line of defense is to attack Gillibrand's own fundraising. That's a classic political move. When you can't defend your own actions, attack your accuser. But Gillibrand doesn't flinch. She doesn't get defensive. She doesn't explain the difference between campaign contributions and regulatory capture. She just keeps asking the question. Why did you go on a paid vacation funded by the companies you oversee? And Duffy never answers. Because there is no good answer. The only honest response would be, because no one stopped me. Because the rules don't apply to people like me. Because I wanted to and I could. And that, more than anything else, is why this hearing matters.